el kit que yo seleccionado es similar. O sea, reparar el ADN, reparar la foto final.
Yeah, like I want them about here, and they're dropping down to about here. Because where the beads are used to be.
We put a little paper in the base.
Oh, okay, does that work? Actually, it's sort of working anyway. In fact, you can see it's much faster on this step than it was for the first step, because they're just in water now, and water is much less viscous than the liquid that we started with. The liquid that we started with has polyethylene glycol in it, which is quite viscous, so it takes longer for the beads to separate. So that's just after like a minute, they're already put out in that. So that's all we need to do. Okay, so first one, the coarse pool. So I put in 40 microliters of water. I'm going to take off 38 microliters. So just leave a little bit behind because I don't want to take any of the beads with me. So to be sure that I just get the water, then there's the DNA in it. Okay. So it's clear. You shouldn't see any beads in what you're taking. And this is, by the way, as Ken was saying, if you're not thinking about what you're doing, you know, in the taking off the ethanol stage, what you do is you just throw that away because that's your garbage. Now, what you're taking off is what has your DNA in it, so that's your sample.
Okay.
And Ken's alluding to, the first time I was teaching Ken this protocol, we got to this point and I saw his pipette hovering over the waist, looking at the DNA, and I said, stop. So yes, you gotta pay attention. He doesn't mind me telling that story, so he alluded to it. And then the second one, this is our pre-made Los Amigos pool, which is like a backup in case yesterday's PCL was not good. Okay, so that's our purified DNA, and this is what we need to cube it. And Simona is the one who knows how to do that. So the blank is just going to be the water that I made there. Do you need gloves? I've got some gloves in here.
Here?
Sí, entiendo que es bueno.
Oh, these are medium.
Entiendo que es bueno.
That's what I mean.
¿Sí, español?
Él dijo que no, pero algunas palabras, pero hay gente que no sabe mucho inglés, pero algunas palabras sí las saca.
Está chévere. ¿Hasta cuándo es la fecha para enviar ese Excel? El Excel.
25.
¿Excel de qué?
Los pedidos, pero hay que mirarlo porque creo que ya es muy excesivo.
Todo mucho. He pedido lo que...
So in our lab we did
Como si la universidad fuera tan generosa.
Cubit, which is a slightly different device, but yeah.
De todas maneras, una cajita de petas, ¿no? de tips.
Yeah, the martes, that's
Esta es mi lista. Toma tu lista. ¿Qué va a hacer ahorita?
Va a cuantificar.
Ya va a
nuestra
cuantificar.
librería con la librería del profe. Qué bonita letra.
Ah, no, la busco.
Let's start with this one. I'm calling this the course pool. This is one we made. And while you're doing that, I'll get the next ingredient, I think. So the end prep stuff I'm going to do.
Yeah.
que hay el año pasado que están recién por nacer, ¿cómo se llama? Así también partes que son del kit de civilización, pero que no son usados bien enteros.
It's a little on the low side. I generally see sort of
Y
14,
bueno, se
15
está dejando de lado
microliters per
supuestamente
this.
porque
Hay que revisarlo,
It's
sí.
within the realms.
Se podrían hacer
hay que probar.
como de entrenamiento, aunque sea.
You need the ratio?
No, just the
Se puede
concentration.
probar ya.
Como entrenamiento, sí, antes de malograr los reales.
31.7.965.
Yo tengo plicones para separación.
6. I
Yes.
believe 3 decimal places, but anyway.
This is one, right? Los
Yes, LA pool, Los Amigos pool. Which may be a bit higher, let's just find out what is of interest.
Jiménez, pero
But this is enough because the quantity that you need for library prep, or that we usually use to go into library prep, is about 100 nanograms. So 3 microliters of this would give you 100 nanograms, which is plenty.
el primer tubito tenía las 2 placas, ¿no? Uy.
25.743 less.
So it's actually less. Okay, interesting. Well, let's go with our pool then. Maybe just because this is old and this has been transported a bunch of times. Yeah. I know.
25.743.
Okay, we again 25.743.
Yes.
Okay, so that's good.
Debería tener más el otro.
Tiene más entre nosotros.
Um,
¿O es el tuyo ese?
So, anybody remember the
O
name
es el
of the
de-
next
el de
step that we do, the first
Lidia.
step of library prep? It's called end prep.
No, end
So
prep.
end prep is putting a it's making compatible with ligation. Well, it's both end repair and end prep. It does 2 things, I think. It fills in any incomplete strands, like any overhanging single-stranded bits, like at the ends of the molecules will get filled in with nucleotides. But then it also, at the 3' end of every DNA molecule, adds an A. Adenine gets an A base. And the reason for that is the step that comes after this, where we ligate on the sequencing adapters. All of them are made with a 5' overhanging T. So the T and the A, they bind to each other, and that's how they sort of find each other and they stick together. So that's why you have to do end prep first, because otherwise the ends of the PCR amplicons we've made are not compatible with ligation with the sequencing adapters. Okay, so end prep reaction, very simple. You need your whatever DNA you're sequencing needs to be in a volume of 12.5 microliters. And that is whatever amount you need to make 100 nanograms, and then you just add water to make it up to 12.5. So in this case, I'm going to call it 3 microliters of that, right? It's basically about 32 nanograms per microliter is what we have with DNA. So roughly 3 times that will give you 100 nanograms. And so to get 12.5 microliters, you need to add 9.5 microliters of water. Yeah. This is all written down in the protocol we have, but I just know it because I do it so many times. Okay, so 3 microliters of pool plus 9.5 micrograms of water, and that's end prep. And then we add a buffer and we add an end prep enzyme. We'll go through that when we come to that part. Buffer. And for this, because this step needs to be done, or ideally is done in the thermocycler, I'm going to switch to doing this in the little tubes, these 0.2 ml PCR tubes. There's a rack somewhere.
¿Cuántos son de duración?
Total. 22.
¿Y los otros que son los taxones?
So I'm going to write on here.
Otras no hacen metabar coding, hacen otras cosas.
¿Pero qué hacen?
Bueno, uno hace serpientes, proteómica, otros hacen, por ejemplo, filogenética. Eso.
¿Cuál es el más
So I'm going to do the
la
water
tesis más
first.
difícil hasta ahora?
So that's the
¿Cómo?
9.5
¿Cuál es la tesis más difícil
water.
hasta ahora?
No sé. Si tú quieres mi opinión, la mía. O sea, porque la
tiene
conozco.
muchas partes.
Sí,
Oh,
me arrepiento.
you just keep this
Ay,
Y eso que no le has puesto todavía que vas a hacer hibridación.
ni la quiero poner, ya que se olvide la verdad.
water.
¿Va a ser un diluido?
So basically, you could use a maximum of 12.5 microliters of whatever DNA you have here. In this case, we only need to use 3 microliters. So that's fine. That's a pretty typical amount, actually.
Tampoco.
So it's the water. 5.
5 microlitros de agua, ¿no?
So this is, you don't need very much. It doesn't take very much of an amplified PCR pool for sequencing. You know, think about how this is, we still have all of this left from the plates we originally made. So, but that still contains, you know, billions of DNA molecules.
¿Eso qué es el ADN?
Right, so coarse pool, so we are doing this one, we're doing your guys' samples. There's something to be concerned about that. Okay, and then the amount of buffer is 1.75 microliters of end prep buffer. So just mixing that up. I'm just doing 1.8 because this doesn't do decimals. Uh, 1.75 microliters of end prep buffer, or 1.8 microliters if you're using a pipette that doesn't have sort of a bubble like that.
Estoy poniendo los extremos del ADN para reparar los
And
extremos.
0.75 microliters of the end prep buffer, which is here. The kit looks like this. You get it from New England Biobanks. And this is fairly viscous. Again, I'm just giving it a sort of a flick here to mix it up. Things with enzymes in them, you don't want a vortex. Just mixing more gently. Small into this.
Cuando preparas los extremos del ADN para nanopod,
So yeah, the
son
total
dos
volume of
buffers
this now should be about 15
Creo
microliters.
que uno es buffer y el otro es una
So I'm just gonna get this.
La adhesión
una enzima para...
para que se...
Sí.
Should be
15, yes, if you add up the ingredients, 15 microliters. So,
the amount of DNA needed is 90 nanograms. The amount.
the amount of DNA that I put in here is about roughly 100 nanograms. Okay, so just that much, pretty small amount. And the next step is in the thermocycler. You probably don't have the right program on here. I can do it very quickly, but it's just. Do we have the protocol there? You're looking at the right part. Yeah, actually you're on the right page. 20 degrees for 5 minutes, 65 degrees for 5 minutes. So quite a fast.
¿Tienes el protocolo para revisarlo? ¿Por dónde va? Aquí, ahí.
Creo que es por acá, ¿no?
Ujú.
So, possible someone's done it already?
Aquí le agregó el buffer, ligation buffer, y creo que le agregó el mprep. Ya, el ligation
I
buffer,
don't think anyone's made it before, so
el mprep. Y el ADN me parece. A ver. Ya, este ya lo hizo.